that a QR code on a toilet bowl? That's actually amazing, yeah. Now, while we enjoy the beautiful scenery of Mount Fuji, let me just give a quick update. So some of you might have already known that I have gotten dengue fever previously about 30 days ago, and after that, about 2 weeks later, I went to Japan for vacation. Right, so today this video will be about the tech scene in Japan, or at least what I have observed. And alright, so without further ado, let's go. Now for starters, if you remember the QR code that we saw on a toilet bowl, right, you can see over here we have a QR code on a poster as well. So it was actually quite common to see a lot of QR codes on various parts, okay, of the environment. At least that is what I have observed. And if we do a quick scan of the QR code that we can see here, right, let's take a look at the website. Right, you see that this is what we get from the QR code, right, from scanning it. This is the link that we get, right? You can see that, okay, so even though this is in Japanese, okay, we can see that the URL is in .php, right? So you can see this is an example of a Japanese website or Japanese company using PHP, right, instead of the more known or something they were more used to, such as Node.js, for example, right? So this might be something interesting to note, right? That maybe in a different part of the world, okay, people might be using a different stack or maybe a different framework might be more popular, as said, compared to what you know. And not totally unrelated, many businesses, from what I have observed, and also including, for example, transportation services, are still using physical tickets. For example, like what we are looking at right now, which is a one-way train ticket. Of course, we have QR codes on tickets as well. So in a way, so at least from my observation and my perspective, Japan is in an interesting phase, kind of in between having workflows or processes, right, using physical stuff, and also relying on digital services as well. All right, that is not to say that Japan is not an advanced country, right? It is actually the opposite. So for example, take a look at this cleaner robot, right? So this is something that if you have not seen before, right, it basically helps you clean or vacuums your floor, right, while you can put your attention to somewhere else, right, maybe do a bit of work. Or for example, right, take a look at this dedicated corner or section for virtual reality or VR headsets, right? So like, for example, here we have Meta Quest, yeah. And of course, as another good example, right, we also found this cute section with two companion robots, which are really kind of cute, and they do respond to your interaction with them, right? So to let you hear a bit of what they sound like, here we go. Now, if we want to talk about the tech scene in Japan, okay, we really have to talk about how much it takes, right, to get into it. So let's start with the cost. For example, the cost of buying a laptop, right? So the first two Windows laptops that we saw, right, converted to my local currency, which is Singapore dollars, and that would be around $1,200 and $1,400 respectively. Yeah. And if you want to develop on a Mac, right, so take a look at this 16-inch MacBook Pro, M1 Pro, which looks like it costs around 3,300 if you convert it to my local currency. So that is about almost the same price as if I were to get a MacBook Pro, right, locally, right? So I would say it's not exactly too expensive, but it's also not exactly cheap as well. Now, while those are not exactly cheap items, okay, from my observation, okay, I could sense that in general, right, Japan as a whole is attempting to emphasize more on bringing out their local tech scene as well. So, for example, here in Kyoto, okay, we managed to pass by this advertisement for a school that specializes in IT accounting, right? And not to mention, we also saw this advertisement on a train, right? That is basically a job portal that specializes in finding IT specific jobs for you. In general, though, I do believe Japan is really great in being creative, in leveraging on technology. Right? So for example, if you have the chance to visit Universal Studios Japan in Osaka, right, be sure to visit Super Nintendo World. As you can see over here, they have some very interesting games, right, which combine both the physical world and the digital world as well. Right, so most of the games here require you to buy a banker with a chip in it that will enable you to play the games, which will also record your results in their mobile app as well. So what do you think? Are you intrigued by my observations of Japan's tech scene, or are you interested in visiting Japan yourself? Right, let us know in the comments below. And as always, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And just remember to watch till the end for a little surprise. Cheers, man.
Use your power.